Oh,
All
looks like
right.
we're hot. So I really haven't talked to you guys much since I got on here. How you guys doing?
Well, I mean, I'm perfectly fine, wide awake and raring to go.
All right, that's good to hear. How are you, champ?
I'm fantastic.
Cool.
Well, here we are. Welcome to the Guys and Guys Japanese News Podcast, where we talk about Japanese music news and other news if we feel like it. Today we are discussing. What are we talking about?
Everything and nothing.
What was that main topic? Nemophila covers Metallica. What?
Hmm.
How about that?
Who's Metallica?
Who's Metallica? That's the question. I hear they influenced a few bands. May have been a few responsible for a few people picking up guitars and stuff. We got to mention we are sponsored by us, which means we're sponsored by you. Your support on Patreon helps us tremendously. Check out our merch and join our newsletter for updates when we have Japanese music news. How's your guys' week? Wave, how was your week?
Oh my man, I don't remember.
Champ, how was your week?
Yeah. I've been listening to that new Blink 182 album.
Really?
That's been the vast majority of what's been taking up my brain power recently, I think.
How do
You
you
gotta
like
be
it?
extra brain power for doing something else if that's what you've been doing, right?
You seriously overestimate the amount of brain power that I possess, my friend.
Okay.
No, it's actually it's really cool, man. If you even have like a passing knowledge of them,
Yeah.
like even just peripherally, you heard all the small things and what's my line again, and saw them dancing naked in the streets. If you go and listen to that album, you'll feel shit, bro. I'm telling you, it's just gonna pull from like a deep seated memory factory inside of your body, and you're gonna go, oh shit, I didn't realize that I actually I needed this right now. So that's been taking up a lot of that space. It's interesting too. I've noticed that this keeps happening with like a lot of stuff is going on like that. Like I think I might have mentioned this last week because Sum 41 came back with a song at the same time, but also like NSYNC came out with a new song, and like there's all these other stuff from like the millennial generation. It's like all making comebacks right now. So I'll be totally honest, like my Japanese music listening has kind of shifted to like 1999 returns in 2023 for the last 2 weeks. Like I've been listening to those things. And it's been not nearly as good, but it's been entertaining. Outside of the music world, though, I've just been chilling. I'm looking for a new job. I talked about this last week. I won't bore anybody with it. And just overall, just enjoying life. How about you, Ryan?
Well, Wave, did you remember anything?
Actually, now that Champ mentioned music, I did remember that I got my car working finally. It was like sitting in my driveway all winter,
Yeah.
not running. And when I got it started, I realized that's where my Unleashed CD was.
Oh.
So I started driving it around and just listening to the Unleashed album and vibing and remembering how fun it is to drive in the car and listen to music.
Oh yeah,
So,
man.
other than that, like I've been getting a lot of chores and kind of my bucket list for before the baby's born done around the
Yeah.
house, dad stuff, and and nothing really exciting. So
Nothing exciting. Baby on the way.
yeah, well, I mean, if you want to hear about that,
I understand, dude. I understand. But yeah.
Yeah, having a baby is somehow like the most exciting and nerve-wracking thing in the world, but also at the same time kind of the most boring thing that you could do. Because
No
a
one else
lot of the
wants to
shit
hear
that you
about
have yeah, like all the shit that you have to do is also like boring shit. You know what I mean? It's like shit that you have to do, but it's also like it's kind of boring. It's like,
it.
you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like going to the store and picking out like, what paint am I going to paint the
Until the
baby's
baby's
room?
born.
Until the
No, then it's
baby's
even
born,
more
that's when
boring
it's
because then you're sitting there for 4
What are you
hours while the
talking
baby
about?
sleeps and you're going, oh, well, it's sleeping.
Well,
I'm
you
just going to
you,
sit
you must
here.
have had a kid that behaved or something, because
I
not all
did.
kids just like lay there
Yeah.
and sleep the entire time.
All right,
I
I'm
got
gonna
lucky
start-
with that one.
I'm gonna start keeping
I have
a
a
log.
lot of
and-
entertaining stories about my daughter. Just saying. My son, yeah, different. He was very behaved and slept all the time. Daughter was wild though.
Yeah, dude. Like my son, like when he was a baby, he just like chilled. And I'd be like, okay, like he's great. This is cool. I'm also bored out of my mind watching the Wiggles for the 13th time in a row. But like, like I would take
which
always
Wiggles?
take
I got lucky. They liked watching SpongeBob, and that's fucking
Ugh.
hilarious.
that would have been way better for me.
Steven
I'll-
Hillenburg SpongeBob.
I'll always take boredom over stress. So when given those two options, I'm down with the boredom.
You didn't get down with the Wiggles? You didn't sing all those songs?
God damn it, dude. I actually took him to a Wiggles concert in New York City in like 2010
Wow.
or whatever.
That's
And-
dedication, dude.
Oh, it was just like one of the just like I don't even remember it. That's how bored I was because I think I was like playing Die Hard in my head the whole time instead of actually watching the performance. You
You're
know,
like,
just
what's
like
roughly the same time as this concert.
I want to
yeah,
see that
like,
as a mashup.
just trying my hardest just to not pay attention to what was in front of me.
So you didn't go to Wiggles World in Australia? Go on
I
the-
did not know that was the thing. Are they still a thing? You're about to have a baby. Is Wiggles still around, bro? Or are you gonna have to listen to that shit?
I don't know if they're still around. I just remember watching the this like creepy, mysterious video about how they replaced one of the members, and then he wanted to come back later. And he had to replace the one that replaced him. And then the ride is super dysfunctional and doesn't work very well. Always has issues with it. So it was more of like a, I don't know. Well, this is interesting for a
Yeah, I
20-minute
literally have
YouTube
no idea
video.
what you're talking about. I've never
Me
Yeah, I'm
neither.
completely lost.
Alright.
Right on. Alan, what are you doing, buddy?
I
You look
am.
like you're-
I'm
you're
on
on-
tour right now. You guys want to
like-
see the? I'm in a Sprinter van. Say hi, Pascal. This is bassist from the band Source.
Right on.
They're
right
fucking
on.
amazing, by the way. What do you think of your show so far?
I'm having a wonderful time. Like, we were really sloppy the first show, but doing really, really fucking well. I live for this.
They're really
Awesome, man.
cool. It's a fucking amazing sound. It was fucking awesome. Yeah. So
Got mad
The lights are incredibly exciting. Like, they just change everything. So,
this is where we
Nice.
sleep, guys, over here.
Oh.
For the beds back there. So yeah, we're just on our way to Chicago right now. So anyone want to come out to Chicago venue? Where are we playing?
yeah, what's the venue in Chicago?
Livewire Lounge is where we'll be in Chicago. If you guys are out in Chicago area.
The Source. The
Come
Source
check
is
it
the
out.
band.
Source Band, yeah.
Source band.
But I
Live
think
from the
you guys are
road.
found by what is it? Play Source or something?
Listen to Source on Instagram.
Oh yeah, Listen to Source is how you find it.
Okay.
It's a little hard to find, but I'll give you guys links later.
So you're
but yeah,
swinging
been-
through,
been
Plymouth
doing
on your
this,
way?
right? We're not stopping at Plymouth.
What the hell, man? You come all this way.
Shit. Come out to Chicago. Come on, Ryan. It's only a couple hours. Oh, we just played in it was what, Minnesota and then Wisconsin.
Yeah, you
already.
were in St. Paul last night. We were probably like
Didn't even
I
stop and
don't.
say hi to
We were
wave.
probably like 10 miles from each other, but I was working a wedding and I couldn't leave.
Oh man, shit came afterwards. It's the best smelling venue ever.
Yeah, I bet. I believe.
Yeah, no,
you.
because there's a bakery right behind the bar.
Oh.
It was fucking fantastic. And like they were baking bread in the middle of the set, and it was wild. Because we were like
Nice.
all just super hungry. Pascal, the bassist, he took like a $20 bill and went up to the workers. It was slammed it on the window, and the guy was like, "Nah, can't give it to you." I'm like, "Bro, you should have done $100 bill. They would have said yes to that." It was so
Give me
good.
some-
It's the
give me
best
some
smelling
bread.
bar I've ever been in my entire life.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Fun.
And normally smell like drunk people, piss, alcohol. No, we were smelling fresh baked bread and pastries.
Oh,
would be
welcome to
nice.
St. Paul.
yeah,
Yeah,
there are
very fancy.
0 venues in New Jersey that smell that way. In fact, you could walk outside of a venue in Jersey and still smell the venue.
Piss and
Yeah. But I've been working on the album, and so that's been really fun. Finally writing a lot of lyrics. We got a lot of exciting stuff coming for band-wise for Dichotic, and it's
Right
finally
on.
coming together. So
Sweet, dude.
even though I'm out here on the road, like still getting a lot of stuff done through there. I'm trying out my I have a new collapsible guitar that like breaks down and fits into a backpack right here.
Show me.
And it's fucking badass because you
Dude.
can bring it like
I've always
on
wanted
any
one of those.
airline.
Which one is it?
So
What'd
Huh?
you get? What'd you get?
it's a Journey's instrument. So it literally like
Okay.
breaks down. You could remove the neck. It's a screw off neck. And it's awesome. It actually
like
sounds pretty
folds.
decent. I'm getting a lot of stuff done on it. Not sponsored by them, but maybe soon. I'll
Shit.
tell you guys about that later. But
I'm gonna need to
yeah, it's
test one of
fucking
those out.
awesome. Huh?
I'm gonna need to test
Yeah.
one of those out.
That's what I'm doing right now. This is the whole point of it. So I'm
Oh,
testing
You
it
guys
out
are
for the
making me
company.
jealous.
So
Cool,
it's
man.
pretty badass
Cool.
so far. The pickups are kind of trash. Might want to change them out, but they do what it needs to do. I'm getting shit done, so I can't complain.
Yeah, it's
That's
not like
getting
you're
all the writing
gonna.
done.
It's not like you're gonna be playing a concert with it. You know, you
Yeah.
just
Yeah, but the crazy
can
thing is
still
you
play
could if you wanted to.
nice.
You could, like it's a full fucking guitar, like
That's
full
awesome,
scale
dude.
guitar. It's just 22 frets, but it's pretty crazy.
Just 22 frets, like my.
Dude,
guitar.
if I go somewhere for the weekend or whatever and there's no guitar there, it really bothers me. If it's like a few days and I'm like just irritable, it's like, what's the matter? I'm like, I haven't played guitar for like 3 days. I need to find a music store.
Try being a drummer, dude. You
Yeah.
can't bring them anywhere.
You can always tap on shit.
Yeah, true. My legs are very bruised all the time.
Right.
By the
It's l-
by the way, just to add for this band too, like it's just a 3-piece, guys, and they sound so
Nice.
fucking good as a 3-piece. I really wish Wave could have came out because the drumming is phenomenal. I think you would absolutely
man.
love it, Wave. You would have been
Me
geeking
too.
out.
It was like I do like 7 weddings this year, and that's one of them.
I know. It sucks. Maybe next time, but yeah, everyone's phenomenal. But I just was thinking about you while we're in Minnesota. I was like, oh, dude, Wave would have fucking loved the drumming for this so much.
Dang. I'll have to look 'em
But yeah,
up.
that's my week. Still posting production videos and stuff like that while on the road. Ryan came on an episode. We talked about this gig that I'm doing right now about keeping tips and stuff. Maybe we could talk about that later. But that was a fun conversation.
Oh, right on. Yeah.
So yeah, so just clipping stuff from the podcast that we did, and Ryan joined us for a little bit. By the way, Ryan, I loved your live song of your new song. It sounded really good, man,
thank
with
you.
the bassist.
Thanks.
Yeah,
man.
that was really cool. I love the new Mir Remembers content too. Is that going to be like a new series?
Sure.
Mir remembers.
Ryan Mir
What-
Remembers.
Why wasn't it Mir reflects?
I
Oh,
know.
shit.
Yes.
You're totally right.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, you need to come up with a new series called Mir Reflects. It'd be great.
Oh, so punny.
what was it? Tell me, what was this a
It wa-
video?
It was a Belasco theater performance from Band-Maid of Hibana.
Oh,
So I was
cool.
there, but I hadn't listened to it since I saw him live, and like the sound there was not that great. So being able to hear it from a different perspective and hear it a little cleaner was nice.
Sweet.
So yeah, man. So I didn't want to be like reacts it's on everything, or I didn't have a thing
Reviews.
for review. I don't know. So I just put remembers, and apparently people think it's pretty funny,
Nice.
which is fine. I guess we'll
Hey,
go with-
and
What?
Hey, sorry to interrupt, guys. If it's possible, can you send everyone's volume louder to my headphones because everyone's super quiet to me.
Yeah, Champ
barely
says
hear
that
Ryan.
I'm quiet too.
Wave
can't
has
hear- yeah.
lost about half his volume in the last 2
Champ is the only
minutes.
person I can really hear.
You can't tell, but I'm actually screaming at the top of my lungs right now. It's one of those things.
Oh, you are?
just so loud. Everybody in my house is yelling at me right now.
All right.
Like Toby Maguire, got the same facial expression no matter what's going on.
I actually,
But
I was about to say something awful.
that's
I'm
how
not
my
gonna say
week's
it.
been going.
What about you, Ryan? What about you? What did you do?
Man, I've been, like I said last week. I think I still worked on music. I'm still working on new music, and that's fun because that's been happening a lot more lately, which is cool. I've been talking to some other bands that I've come across on my live streams and getting in contact with them. So kind of neat stuff happening. Just staying busy. I got some family in town this week, so I'm going to try and see them, but also still get all my other shit done. But
I admire your consistency, because like
yeah,
you're like always on schedule. It seems like.
seems like it's a lot better than it was. But yeah,
Nice.
when I do, that's easy to do when all I'm doing is that. But if you start recording music, and you know how it is when you're writing a song, you try and record shit, and then all of a sudden the day's gone. It's like, oh, I usually
Yeah,
upload a bunch of videos that day.
yeah, that's what I've been doing. Like I'm working on trying to finish an album before the baby's here,
Yeah,
but yeah, it's like I trying to keep up with everything else too.
yeah, it's rough, but it's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
I do miss those days when I used to be like, because I don't really enjoy writing that much on my own. Like, you guys seem to be totally cool with it, but like for me, it's always like I get to a point where I get like 75% of the way into writing something that I like, and then I go, this is just going to sound like something else that I would write if I finish this right now. So I want somebody else to come in here and add their thing to it, so it's
Yeah.
different, so it's
Yeah.
unique and special. And I remember, when I had a band, like when I had my writing buddy, me and my bassist buddy, like we used to write together and we had totally different styles. So the songs never came out the way that I personally wanted them to because he was putting his part into it. But looking back at it now, I realize like that was definitely what was best for the music. And now when I write my music, I still get to that like 75% point. Like I was just playing yesterday. I picked up my guitar. I wrote like 3 riffs in a row and I was like, these are all really cool. I have nothing to do with them. I just put my guitar down and I was like, I'm good.
Instrumental music, man. Oh no.
Hold
Alan,
on, man.
you're cutting in and out.
Try again, Alan. Yeah, I think he's done. Yep.
Oh, no.
Dang.
Oh.
Well, so let me.
I feel like he was about to give me a really good piece of advice somewhere.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Alan. Yeah, I'll mention that what Alan brought up was me playing a live thing last week. I went to a local place in town called the Wild Rose Moon, and I called up a bass player friend of mine and said, "Hey, man, would you want to join me? I wrote a new song, and send him a link to the video." And he's like, "Yeah, dude, I'll definitely come in and jam with you." And I don't play with him very often, but whenever I do, he's a guy I can trust. Just really, whatever he does is going to be really compatible with what I do. So we just jammed we just improv'd an instrumental first. Then I butchered one of my songs, and then we played the new one, which went well, by the way. So that was good. So I put out a video of that. So I my acoustic version of the song I put out like the day after I wrote it, and then I got like the full studio version, and now there's this live version out. So
Dude, sick.
Nice.
Thanks,
Yeah,
man.
no, it's like a single. You're dropping a single over here.
Actually,
All
in
the-
2
all the
days, I'm going to be
different
dropping
versions.
3 of them
Sweet.
tomorrow.
Dang.
That tomorrow, he skipped the second day. You were just
No.
3 days? No, not 3 days.
22nd. 2 days. I'm going to have 3 singles. I have no
Okay, cool.
no like advertising or anything for it. They're just going to happen.
See, this is what happens when you don't have like that weekly schedule, like to go to work every day. You just like lose
Yeah.
track of what day it is. It could be any day. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
anymore. Yeah. Hey, I have a question for you guys. We're talking about the writing of the music. If you're writing a song, like let's say you pick up your guitar, you write something, you like the direction that it's going in, right? Like let's say you wrote a verse and a chorus. Okay. You wrote a verse and a chorus. You give it to somebody else, a bassist, to put something on top of it. When you do that, if that bass changes the sound of the song, do you want that to happen, or are you hoping that that bass just adds to what has already been there?
Depends how it changes it.
I'm always hoping it just reinforces whatever I gave them. But if it changes it and I like it, I like it. Sometimes I've been in situations where I really like a whole song and then I present it to the bandmates and it goes off in a whole different direction, almost to where it's like a different song.
Mhm.
It's like, well, let's just change that original part to something else so I can have my song back. We created this other thing, which is cool. but yeah, I mean, if it sounds good, man, you're like, God, I really liked what I had, but this sounds really good. So I guess I don't know.
It really is like I don't know how I feel about this. Like every time that's happened to me, I'm always like on the fence about because I'm like I had an idea for this whole thing, right? Like from
Right.
front to back, you have an idea of how you want it to go, and then like let's say you write a riff. Let's say you write a riff that's like a repeating line that is like a monotone line. Like let's say it's something like a Metallica style riff, right? Like now if the bass comes in and does in my head I might be thinking that would be cool. But if instead he does like 3 separate root notes in that and just goes it changes the whole sound of that song, but it might change it for like the complete better in that situation.
Yeah.
You know, you go from that monotone sound to that melodic sound right there, and it's all depending on how good that bassist is and how well he can put it in there.
Right.
Sure.
And that's like where you're talking about with us writing a song like all by ourselves. You don't get that because if you initially have that idea, you're going to stick with it, And if you get some input on it, like I had old bass line and everything out ready for the song, and then had Nathan listen to it, and he's like, "Yeah, that's cool." And I didn't expect him to play exactly what I did because he's a way better bass player than me. And just the little changes he did. There's a couple things he did, like, and it's almost exactly what you're saying, where I'm just kind of hanging on the same chord, and he'd move up a note and just hit this one note, and it's like, oh, that gave that one verse a different feel. So it's kind of cool. I think doing that should open your eyes up to more possibilities as opposed to you shutting it out, But if it sounds like shit, you got to be like, "Dude, that sounds like shit." No, not doing that.
So that's interesting. Yeah.
How do you feel?
Yeah, I would say it doesn't have to repeat. So why not do both? Because I like the contrast of everything being in unison and then everything splitting apart. You know, put those two next to each other, then you got a really cool change up in your song.
It's true. I actually really like how you said that too. That's perfect.
You
because
literally just made me want to write a song where everything's
yeah, me too. Like I was like,
Well,
you know what?
I try
Let's do this.
Yeah,
No,
what I
that's a
try to
really
do,
good
'cause
idea.
I love unison, but I also love when, like, because then it like frames it in a way where you notice it instead of doing it the whole time, and it's almost overwhelming on the first listen. Yeah, I don't know.
And it depends on the way that you're delivering the message too, because in unison, like especially if you're doing like let's say a harder rock or metal type of song, unison usually ends up sounding heavier because it's more monotoned. While melody always makes things sound a little bit lighter, right? So if you want to deliver it where if the song that you're writing, you want to deliver a message where it's getting more and more impactful, you might want to add the unison later.
Yeah.
But if you want it to open up as the song goes on, then you want to add the melody later.
Yeah,
So,
or use unison when you're making like the main point of your song, to really give it
Sure, man.
the balls or whatever. I don't know.
Balls.
It is interesting though, because that's specifically why I don't like writing by myself. Because I feel like I'm missing that other person's approach into jumping into something that I've written that's going to change it, most likely for the better, because I'm not perfect, right? So like I'd rather have somebody to come in here and tell me. A writing partner is always good, right? Like I wish I had a consistent one all the time, because then I think I would be writing music all the time again. So I don't have anyone around here that wants to write music with me.
It was fun when we all got together and we were writing music because like I felt like we had a great chemistry,
Yeah.
It was very I thought that we did fine. I'll be honest. I thought we did fine, but it was like so spur of the moment and we like barely even
we didn't have enough time to like really get comfortable with it. That was the problem.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah,
feel
'cause,
like
like,
we all
that's
contribute something so different from each other that
yeah, you're right.
it's a cool team.
I gotta say though, like for me personally, like I hated like we're talking about the song that we wrote in your garage, right?
Well, I mean, just like the whole jam session, you know, because that wasn't the only thing we did.
Mm-hmm. Well, for that in particular, like Ryan had a cool riff in there. You know what I mean? Like Ryan had a cool riff that we worked off of. Alan added a cool melody line. You added some nice drums to it, and I was playing the rhythm guitar, which is like the easiest thing to pick up if you're doing like, you know, I'm just going to play the root notes that Ryan was playing throughout most of this, right? But what actually makes a rhythm guitar good or special in a song is the change ups that the rhythm guitarist is able to do. So I just felt like I wasn't adding anything to it really. You know what I mean? Like that's why like there was, do you remember that one part where I was like, we should all stop right here? And then Ryan will come in with the solo and then we all come back in. Cause I was just like, God damn, I need to add something here. Like at least like a beat here.
Well, you were like arranging the song for us in a way that made it more interesting. You know?
Sure.
Hey, Alan, what's up? Is he here?
He's stroking his microphone.
He's stroking his, but no audio is coming from it, so we'll just
No audio.
we'll just let him look pretty in the corner until we could hear him again. Yeah. Maybe
He has me
There you go.
muted.
Oh, hi.
I was
There you are.
muted. Yeah, I was muted.
Okay.
I was like, Andrew, unmute me.
Up and he's gone
I'm just
again.
gonna stroke my microphone until you unmute me.
Okay. Well, Alan,
Yeah,
I think we've tried enough times, buddy. I think we're just gonna have to wait till next time.
I hate Windows 11.
Okay, so obviously, internet issues are just all over Alan's life right now. That's what happens when you drive around the country with a band. You might not have good internet all the time.
We're gonna ignore him next time.
Andrew,
He's
just
done
leave him
for.
on mute, bro. If he comes back, just keep him on mute.
He's just here to look pretty.
Love you, buddy, but not working out.
The Beardos. That's a good band name.
The Beardos.
The Beardos.
That way, every time someone types in the Beatles, it'll maybe pop up.
Because it kind of sounds
the
the
same-
same.
The
Like-
same first
What?
6 letters.
Oh, I think the word beard will probably come up before the Beatles.
I mean, like in Spotify, if you're typing in the
Yeah.
Beatles, the first 6 letters are the same. So it might be in the autofill.
The first how many?
6 letters. The Beardos.
Oh,
Oh, you're counting the.
Well, the is part of the Beatles name.
but yeah, seriously, Alan, he's been trying to join us, but he can't because he's on the road with the source band. So hopefully he'll get to a spot where we can get a chat with him.
No, we'll
not
talk to
today,
him next time. Yeah.
Maybe not tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know.
We'll talk to him whenever he's like not actively moving.
Well,
You
there
know,
goes
like,
our other
when he's
topics for the
stationary.
day.
Well, let's yeah, that's true. We did have some. Unfortunately, Alan had some strong opinions on a couple songs that he wanted to talk about today, and I really wanted to hear those opinions. But we all listen to these songs also, so I guess we could talk about them with that. Oh, we've all got opinions too. We have thoughts, right? Like we have thoughts and considerations.
I have thoughts.
Thoughts and considerations.
Okay, so
you
we
wanna
could do it.
We'll talk about Jiluka. Song
Jiluka.
Venom.
Oh, yeah. I forgot what the band was called. All right.
Jiluka.
So have you heard of them before this?
I think people brought him up on my live streams, and I was like, "Wow, what in the world?" But I mean, it was entertaining as hell, for sure.
Did you listen to Venom?
Yes,
Okay.
I did.
And that was the first time that you listened to it.
I think so. I'm not sure if I heard him before. We hear so many bands that I don't know. It's very possible, but that's like the most recent thing to me was that. But I mean,
Okay, and what about you, Wave?
I just listened to them today before we started. That was my
Yeah.
first time hearing of them.
Okay, I see. I hadn't even heard like of them. Like I didn't know when Alan said, "Yo, you guys got to listen to this song." I was like, "Is this?" I didn't even think it was a Japanese band, honestly, because I don't know,
Okay.
something about the word Jiluka didn't sound Japanese to me. So I was like, "Oh, cool. Okay, let's check this out." Thoughts?
I'll put it this way: when I heard it, I was like laughing most of the time because it was so fucking weird. But I still liked it. I'm like, this is incredible. It was entertaining. Like I said, it was entertaining as hell. But it was just so I'm like, what the hell, man? But yeah, I don't know.
Who'd they remind you the most of? that you've heard so far?
Didn't remind me of shit.
Oh. Wave, got any thoughts?
I guess like I can't think of another band, but like speed metal.
I feel like you would be the hardest to win over with this style of music out of the four of us, just because, you know, like me and Alan, especially, we listened to a lot of hardcore music back when we were younger. You were more of the along the lines of like that alt rock genre
Yeah.
a lot of the times.
I like
So-
musical music, you know?
So this must have been really fucking heavy for you.
Yeah, it was like, why so many notes? I can't process it anyway. Why are you throwing
Why
these
so
all at
many
me?
notes?
See, this is why Alan wanted to be here for this, because Alan was like, this is my favorite song of the year. He had
I'm surprised
he had
at that.
really strong feelings on this one.
I would disagree. I've heard much more listenable stuff than that I want to listen to all year. It was
So
cool for like a video, like a legit reaction, but goddamn.
Yeah.
I listened to it in the car. I was with my son, so I said, "Hey, Zach, we got to check this song out. Okay, we got to talk about this. So let's see how we feel about this." And Zach, he likes some metal. He doesn't go out of his way to listen to it, but if I put it on, he'll dig some of it, especially the more melodic stuff. You know, melodic death metal. He could get into some of that stuff. He, like, halfway through it, he was just like, this band is really good. So this is what he goes. He says, this band is really good. He said, but I don't want to listen to it anymore. I said, I don't know if I disagree with you right now, because like I really did. So one of the things, I think the thing that stood out for me most in this song was the usage of like the hardcore music. Like, I'm talking about like straight up like grindcore, hardcore, like that type of thing, right? And that shit has never appealed to me. I've never been into the like, we're gonna do some palm mutes and then play a chord that's not an actual chord that sounds weird. That being said, I thought they did a really good job of like weaving that into other genres, that so that I wasn't like completely turned off by those sounds when they did go into it. I was like, okay, they're actually using it to enhance other aspects. And they did have some melody in those choruses that they threw in there also. Towards it, they had a big synth riff that came in that was pretty cool too. And was there a saxophone in there at some
I
point?
think there was, dude. I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
like just a random
A
saxophone and like 3/4 of the way
See,
through for like 10 seconds.
Alan's trying to talk shit in the chat. He's like,
Poor-
oh, it was awesome. You all closed-minded.
Poor
Now-
Alan is jumping out of his skin.
We're closed-minded.
No, I'm not
Fuck outta here.
close-minded. I just want to be able to understand what I'm listening to.
Dude,
And that's,
Yeah.
like, too
Calling
much.
it not musical. Psh.
Okay, it's funny because on paper, I really like, because it almost felt like dubstep inspired.
That's
Certain
that's the only other
parts,
thing it reminded me of.
which is like I made a whole album that was mixing dubstep with rock, and so I love that style. But I'm also, I like music that gives you space to breathe, so you can process what you heard. And
Sure.
like there was no, I guess at the end there were those big rests with like the bubbly sounds and stuff, but it
the
just felt
freaking-
like there was no space within the song to like process anything before it jumped into something else. But I only heard it once, and I was also trying to make a thumbnail. So
I think so. I'm gonna for me personally, I'm ultimately giving it a thumbs up. Like I thought that it was really clever a lot of the time.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought that some of the riffs were really, really cool, and just I was entertained from front to back, which I guess is the most that you really want from music, right? I mean, there are other aspects of it, obviously,
Yeah.
but like for certain genres, like if you're entertained by a song from the time that you start listening to it to the end, it's a success. So like I felt that was successful. What you're saying, Wave, though, is probably what took me out of it a little bit too, where it's just like the drums were especially just so fast the whole time that every time I expected them to go into like maybe a half beat or a 3/4 beat or something like that, it just didn't. It just kept going. And by the time I got like 2 minutes in, I was just like, dude, this is I just like I'm tired. Like I am tired, and I think I need a nap before I finish listening to the rest of the song. So
Is the
yeah, and like he's really good drummer too. Like he's
Yeah.
fucking crazy good. I just so in fact I got so curious by this though. I said, hey Zach, I bet you anything that this is like their least heavy song too, because I was just like, because they did so much hardcore shit in there. I figured they probably got songs that are just like straight up hardcore. So I listened to
Yeah.
another song. I listened to their song Black, which wasn't actually heavier. It was like pretty much the exact same style, maybe a little less hardcore and a little bit more like cannabis. But like, I'll tell you what, regardless of if you personally like the song, like the sound of the song, this is a really good band. They know how to play their
Sure, yeah.
instruments. They know how to write music.
For sure. I agree with
Nice.
that. And
Nicely said. Yeah.
I generally like it too. Like you said, it was entertainment. It was like I was giggling because there's so much crazy shit going on. It's like, what? And to, like you're saying, to do that, and not just like a moment in the song where it's like the whole song. That's crazy.
It
It was cool though.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool song. See, that's that's the other thing, right? Like, so I've said this before. There's like, for me, there's two ways for me to enjoy music. I either like it, the sound of it, or I respect it, right? And if I respect it or like the sound of it, I could listen to it. If I could get both of them, then that's my favorite kind of music, right? I respect it and I like the sound of it. Beautiful, that's perfect. This one was more like I respect it more than I like the sound of it. So like I'll listen to it analytically more often than I'll listen to it just for fun.
Sure. Alan is bummed. He can't join in. Sorry, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, Alan. I wish that you could come here and give a counter argument.
Yeah, we can
to-
talk
to
about
our-
this next time you're actually here.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we'll have more to discuss, and he can talk about Paledusk and how horrible it was. Apparently,
yeah.
what?
So we got to
Paledusk
bring
gave
this
me a
up. Though.
headache.
We got to
Let's
bring
talk
this
about
up.
more shit he wanted to talk about.
Okay, because Alan wanted to debate on these songs, right? And like I didn't have really super strong feelings about like a negative on either of them, but he really didn't like the new Paledusk song, Rumble, which I was very confused by because I felt like it sounded pretty damn similar to this Jiluka song, where I was like, this is basically the same genre, you know, like there's not that big of a difference.
It kind of reminded me a bit of Maximum the Hormone in spots, which is like his
Oh, yeah,
favorite
definitely.
band of all time.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. When he got
Maybe
really
it was too
poppy towards
derivative
the
or
end.
something. I don't know.
I don't know. See, he can't
am
give his
curious
points.
to know what he thinks. So I guess we'll have to.
And now Glenn's stirring up. He says that we're bashing him.
Poor Alan
Alan
he can't even
believes
hear us.
Glenn. Great. Thanks a lot, Glenn.
chooses Glenn over his online friends, his
Mhm.
brothers in podcast room. I don't know what to call it. All right, so that topic's out. Oh, we got Nemophila. This is what the video was.
Wait,
titled, right?
whoa, no, we're not moving
Huh?
on from that because you
Why
just
not?
listened to the new Paledusk song, didn't you?
Yeah,
You didn't say anything about it, and you hadn't listened to it last time. What did you think?
sound like Paledusk.
Okay.
I agree,
That-
though. It is.
that's very
it
true.
is, It is like a very similar vein to the Jiluka song. So I don't know how you would think one is the best thing ever, and then the other one sucked. When like it's like they're walking the same line.
That's why I really
Yeah,
wanted to
we're-
hear what he had to say because
I
he
know,
said
I feel
he
bad that you
prefaced
can't.
this. He
Yeah.
prefaced this conversation, guys, with saying, "I'm going to explain to you why they're different." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. I can't wait to hear this." And now he's not.
Yeah, he will have the chance. We're not going to like bar him from talking about this in future conversations. We'll let him get his points in.
Yeah. But I do find both of those songs I respect them both, and I kind of like the sound of both of them. But I don't know if either of them are like among my favorite like sounds.
Which would be more listenable for you?
Paledusk,
Same here.
but only because I think when they go poppy for longer. You know, like
Yeah.
basically the last minute of the Paledusk song is not metal anymore.
Yeah.
You know, while Jiluka, like even when they went a little poppy, it was still like fucking hardcore metal.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on.
Okay, now we can go.
Okay. No more drama in the chat.
Where
All
are we
right.
going?
Where are we going?
I think we're going in.
Nemophila, Master of
Mm.
Puppets.
Mm-hmm,
Is any
mm-hmm.
good? They got a cover album coming out. Or EP.
Oh yeah.
Or whatever
Have they
the hell you
dropped
wanna call
the
it.
track list yet?
I'm looking at it.
I remember
The
hearing something
initial-
about this before.
Yeah, the initial impulse. I think they have samples of the songs in like a little video. I think there's some Slipknot on there. Sick. I think they're covering that. Trying to think of what else. I'm sure Chat knows. Anyway, let's talk about. Have you guys listened to it yet? The Metallica.
I listened to the short.
Okay.
Is I couldn't find a full video. Was it just a short?
They got audio release, digital audio release. They don't have a video out for it yet.
Oh, I was looking on YouTube. Okay.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
where I heard it
so-
on YouTube.
Okay. Yeah, me too. So I mean, is it tuned down? Is it like in a different key?
Yeah, one of them was using a 7-string, I think.
Well, yeah, because I could
Nice.
like Mayu's voice sounded almost like it was the same, but all the guitars were. I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
so
like, grab a guitar and see what the difference is. But it's
I'm
fucking
almost
heavy.
Metal
positive it
stuff.
was tuned down. But I'm not. I've been pretty vocal about how I'm not the biggest fan of their covers, even though I think that they're a fantastic band. I'm just like, I don't know, maybe it's the songs that they choose that I'm just not like the biggest fan of. But
Yeah,
I was really excited about this one because I think that this is one of those songs that like every band that's ever existed and has listened to Metallica has tried to play. And
Yeah.
most of them sound really, really bad trying to do it. Because this is like a really unique sounding song. And if you mess it up, it's really obvious. You know, like
Yeah.
everything, you could hear every note in that song for whatever reason, how they wrote it, right? I thought this was probably I thought they did a great job. I thought that they did a great job of playing the song. Though the middle part, the bridge, the kind of sounded a little out of tune to me for some reason. I don't know if you guys heard that too. It sounded like maybe there was like one of the guitars was like a little sharp or something like that, but it could just be, it's a really weird part. And like I said, if it's not like exact, maybe it sounds like a little
like
bit
they're
off.
playing the unison guitar
Yeah,
lines.
yeah, like that bridge part where the two are playing the lead at the same time. It sounded like they might not have been in tune with each other properly, but again, it's just a weird sounding part, so maybe they were, and that's just what it sounds like
Yeah.
when you're playing in the key that they were playing in or whatever. But
I didn't get that.
ultimately, I thought that they did a really good job, and I thought Mayo's vocals, I was surprised that she didn't go with the growl on this, just because there are
Yeah.
actually times in this song where Hadfield is getting pretty close to a growl. And she chose to go with her clean, sort of little raspy rock and roll sounding voice instead.
Like right at the beginning, she threw a scream in there. Then I think maybe at the end or like in one little small part, but yeah, it wasn't like utilized.
Yeah,
You know, it could have been. I like what she
yeah.
did though. She gave kind of a Hatfield-esque, just where it's like aggressive, kind of a little roughness there, but not. It seems like she was like respecting like what he did, trying to emulate that. Maybe.
Yeah, and I think they do that a lot. And I think
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons that I don't like their covers as much, is because I kind of want them to turn it more into a Nemophila version of the cover
Mhm.
instead of being so true to what it was. Which this one was, but it was even like, okay, so the part where they're just like master, master, da 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 da. I expected her because there James Hetfield is going master, he's kind
Yeah.
of growling a little bit. But instead they did the gang unison vocals. The other
Mhm.
girls in the background were going master, master, and it's like I felt like they could have added a little more punch in there with
Yeah.
her growls, but it wasn't bad. It was one of my favorite of their covers.
It's almost like one of them songs. Like why? I'm almost like just leave it alone, because if you do a really good representation of it, it's super faithful. Like yes, you pulled it off, but then if you play it the same, like what's the point of doing a cover? Like you're saying, you want the band to inject something themselves. Like in the leads, there's some little differences. I think Saki and Hazuki kind of did their own thing a little bit, not very much, just a couple little things. And Tammy, she probably did the most variation as far as covering a song goes. She did some cool shit. Not that Lars. I mean, Lars back then he was playing some pretty cool stuff on drums, like
Mhm.
deceptively simple stuff, to where you hear a drummer break it down, and you're like, oh, that is weird. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But she was definitely sounded more like Tamu.
I
throughout
agree. She's definitely the one that changed it the most, and it was mostly done in the chorus. The dun 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 dun. Her beat was definitely different than what, and like you said, like it was already a kind of funky beat for that part, especially
Yeah.
for a chorus of a song, like really weird beat. But her version of it was definitely the most altered of anything that happened in the song,
Sure.
and it was cool. I think they even changed one of the guitar, like there was like a guitar note, like a note in that part that they actually went down instead of up on the scale, which surprised me a little bit. It sounded a little bit different, but I didn't mind. It was a cool little change, but it was definitely Tamo that was doing the most heavy lifting when it came to like making it sound like a Nemophila song instead of making it sound like a Master of Puppets song.
Do you know of any other just straight covers of this song by anybody else?
Avenged
somebody-
Sevenfold used to do one. I don't know if you can. I'll look to see if it's up on YouTube somewhere or something like that. I mean, my band used to do one.
Well, like they used to do it live. I mean, like a recording, like, hey, here's us covering this song. Here's a fucking studio recording of it. You know?
Yeah, I think I didn't. I think Avenged Sevenfold did one. I'm
Oh,
gonna
did
look it
they?
up real quick.
Like tribute album stuff, like Metallica tribute stuff. Or-
Yeah, something like that. It might have been like it might not have been Avenged. Give me a second to look that up. I don't know. I'm remembering there was like a big cover album of a metal band that did this.
Wave, are you that familiar with Metallica, my friend?
Not super, but I would say I'd rather listen to Maya sing than James.
Right on. Okay. Well, Trivium, yeah. Whenever somebody mentioned in the chat, Trivium did a cover. Dude, they would nail it because he sounds more like James Hetfield than James Hetfield sounds like James Hetfield.
That's who I was thinking of. It's the
Wild.
trivia. It's the Trivium
Right on.
cover. Yeah. Also, Apocalyptica did one. I just looked that up, and apparently Limp Bizkit did one, which I gotta hear.
Oh,
I gotta know.
Do and don't want to hear that at the same time.
Yeah, just for the sake of like I don't know hilarity, because what are they gonna do with that song? Like seriously.
They're gonna make it sound like all the other songs.
Exactly right. But I remember the Trivium one being pretty good. Oh, there was the as Trivium is wont to do. I believe they added in their synthesizer effect into the back of it, which definitely changed the sound of it. It's been a long time since I've listened to that though.
Why am I tripping?
Are you tripping?
Oh, Alan said that.
Nah, I don't know, man.
Who knows
Alan
what
says
he's
the
talking
Limp
about?
Bizkit cover was actually good. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Cool, but yeah, this was probably like ultimately at the end of the day, out of all their covers, it's definitely like on the top of my list for
Cool.
for how Nemophila did it,
Yeah,
specifically.
I'm looking forward to hearing the rest, whatever else they have on that album, whatever you want to call it.
I want to give one other critique on this though. The only other thing that I don't really like about their covers, it's like Mayu is like my favorite vocalist out there, right? And everything sounds really good, like in the recorded versions of their covers. I feel like the vocals are always like below the mix when they do the covers, and I felt
Yeah.
that way again on this one, where it just felt like it was lacking some punch, some impact into it. And I know that her voice doesn't lack that really, because I've seen her live and I've seen her be a beast. If you watch that Zen official live video that they just put out
Yeah.
there,
Oh,
like
yeah.
she's fucking nuts, bro. She has so much impact to her voice, but sometimes the covers sound a little empty in the vocal area, and I think that that's all production, that they just need to like boost it up a little bit, give it a little, I don't know what's going on there, but like maybe a little bass or post-production bass or something in there, just to add maybe a little delay, you know what I mean? Just something like that. But that's personal preference for me, I think.
Okay, here we go. Undead Ninja in the chat says the 4 tracks on the EP are Sick by Slipknot, Sugar by System of a Down, Stuck by Limp Bizkit, and The Master of Puppets. Then they
They're
have
doing Limp Bizkit too? What the
yeah.
fuck?
Well, yeah, and they have a new track. So I don't know what that is, but
Hey, interesting. Okay, so I mean,
think
Sugar should be great. I could see them nailing that one.
Yeah.
And Phoenix brings up a good point, champ. The harmony with them tuned down, that might just be fucking up how the harmony sounds with the
Dude,
timbre, the timbre, the strings, and everything wouldn't be right for.
That could be it, because I
Yeah.
just felt like it felt like they were hitting all the right notes. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
like they messed up. It was just like for some reason the combination of it felt like it was a little tiny bit out of tune. It's almost like because the strings were a little looser or whatever, they might have needed
Yep.
a bend or something to get it to that spot. But
Right.
yeah, that was probably the issue.
cool.
Good point, Phoenix.
They played the Sugar cover on their stream on
Oh.
YouTube. That's sweet.
I'm not even. Every time I read Sugar, I think Sugar, 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 and Hanabi. I can't think of the System of a Down version.
It's like
It's sugar.
dun, 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 dun. That's like how it starts.
All I can think of is when he goes sugar, and then it like does a bunch of crazy shit.
Sugar.
Interesting. I don't want to listen to any of the other stuff though until the album is actually out, and I want to listen to the whole album.
You know what's interesting? I think, was it with Return? There's a CD that came out. Who I think it was by MTV, and it was like all these like upcoming bands, and Sick was on there, and the Sugar song was on there. Obviously, Master of Puppets wasn't because it's way before that.
Huh.
What else was
So
there?
those came out at the same time. You're saying?
Yeah.
Interesting. So we know what genre, we know what era of music they seem to like really dig. It's the same era that I do. I appreciate Nemophila's taste. You know, I showed my buddy Nemo for the first time the other day. He a big metalhead, only listens to metal, doesn't really like anything else, right? And I played him at Abana, and he was like super impressed by it.
Nice.
And I played him Dissension, and he didn't like it.
Oh.
And I was surprised by that because he was really turned off by the vocal effect that she's doing during her scream in the verses, and then even more turned off by the gang vocals that came in the verses also. So he just didn't like any of the vocals until she got to the chorus. But then in Atabana, he loved her vocals because there was no vocal effect on the screams.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. But then I showed him Style, and he was like, this might be the best one. I was like,
That's a cool song.
Wow.
I was like, this is not even, this is probably their least difficult song, like their least metal
I
song.
love
to
that
play.
song though, dude.
I
That's
love
one
it
of my
too.
favorites
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was just like so into it. He was just headbanging the whole time. And I was just like, dude, I think you might just like new metal more than you know you like new metal, bro.
Maybe.
Let's listen to some Korn.
Right on.
But yeah, like I've actually been trying to show Nemophila to a bunch of my friends that listen to metal, and it's been really hit or miss, and I've been really surprised by which ones my friends are picking up and which ones they aren't. I haven't found a single person that likes Dissension that likes metal, but I found people that like Dissension that don't like metal. So I don't even know how to explain that. You know?
That's
Yeah,
weird.
that's weird.
Yeah. Something about those I don't know, those American ears, bro, that they've never listened to Japanese music before. They're just like super thrown by those like gang vocals. I think those like when the girls are all like da 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 da.
I love that. That's like one of
I
my
like
favorite
it
things in that song.
Yeah, and it happens during like the heaviest moment of that song too. where it's
Oh,
just like,
that's right.
bum,
Okay.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah. That's what I dug about it, man.
Yeah, I think the dichotomy is what makes it so cool. You know what I mean? Because you got these girls with their high pitched voices kind of doing these gang vocals over this really heavy metal riff. That's the appeal for me personally.
I like it because at one point Azuki like winks at the camera during that moment.
That's true. I love that when she's bouncing up and down.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, are there any other bands like that they have their own discography, but also make covers so regularly?
I mean, a lot more bands do it now than kind of before.
Seems like they do covers like on a regular schedule.
I mean, Soken and Aro's getting pretty close to
Oh,
that
yeah.
at this point.
Yeah, and Asterism.
Asterism was doing covers.
Yeah.
I think they've kind of slowed that down since they've started doing more original stuff, though.
Maybe.
But I would definitely say Soken and Aro. It's like they started doing even more covers as they started to pick up more fans.
Hello, Alan.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Oh, we can.
Yeah,
Wow,
but
hey,
for how
You
long?
find an internet
Hey,
pocket?
just tell them to stop the bus so you can do your fucking show.
Tell them to cancel their next show.
But we got to be there pretty soon.
Oh,
Thank you guys for triggering me for the past hour. I
Oh,
was
no
just sitting
problem.
there just fucking fuming the entire time. I was like, I can't fucking say anything. This sucks. Now I forgot everything I want to say.
No, you
All right.
didn't. Come on.
Well, while we have you for as long as we do, why don't you give us just your most recapped version of why you think that those two songs are so different from each
All
other?
right,
Like
everyone
why
else
one
shut
is
up.
so
Let's-
good
let's
and the
Okay.
other's not.
The amount of notes that are playing in the Paledusk song gave me a fucking headache. Like literally, watch my reaction. I break down. I liked it for a certain thing. It just changed so much that I couldn't handle it. And it happened to me with Black Ice also. So by the time we get to the melody and clean part, I'm just fucking exhausted mentally trying to comprehend what the hell is going on. Where in Jiluka, everything is it's all within the same frame. Does it make sense? It's chaotic enough, but not too chaotic. I don't know what the fuck you guys are listening to when you heard Jiluka, but there's a steady riff going on there and you just let out all the aggression. You have these amazing breakdowns that happen in it. And I forgot what else I was going to say. I had it written down. And
Well, here's where I agree with
file,
you.
but-
Here's where I agree with you. The tempo of the Jiluka song stays more similar than the Paledusk song. They switch up their tempo more in Paledusk.
There's consistency throughout the song with Paledusk. I love Paledusk, by the way, guys. I just don't like this new song.
Well, we got a nice
Yeah,
minute
at
of
least
Alan
he
in
got
there.
to
He got to defend himself a
defend
little
himself a little bit.
bit.
I
Okay.
wanted to ask him why he likes Maximum the Hormone then. You know?
They
'Cause,
are,
like-
they are, yeah. But he likes Paledusk, so in general, he does like Paledusk. And they see the only difference is that like when he's saying that like this one gave him a headache, like I kind of feel like this one kind of sounded like the other Paledusk songs that I heard.
he's gonna be so mad right now.
I know.
God damn it!
Yeah, now we get
Probably,
a
like,
rebuttal without
throwing
him
his
getting to respond
microphone.
again. He got his point. Now we can talk for the next hour about how it was wrong.
I'm not gonna
That-
say I
yeah.
love the situation.
I
but,
actually totally
sorry,
agree with what
Alan.
he said when it came to the tempo it's being consistent. I think that is true that the Jiluka tempo stayed more similar than the Paledusk one, who switches back and forth
yeah,
from
yeah.
stuff more.
It seemed like
calmly.
Paledusk even slowed down at one point, like the tempo slowed down.
Yes, and they sped it up at one point
Yeah,
too, where it
that's
was
fucking weird.
literally like through a lead. Like they played the lead once, and then the second time that they played the lead, it got faster and faster until the end of the lead, and the song was faster, right? And that was like towards the end of the song, I guess. But I felt like the Jiluka song had so many more notes in it. So like I was like that was kind of, I was just like all I hear is the whole time. So I don't know if I agree that the amount of notes was the problem with the Paledusk one in comparison to the Jiluka one.
Okay, Alan said there's a clear difference between the Maximum the Hormone and Paledusk. So next time he's on here,
Type up your
Hopefully he
paragraph
can
and send it,
explain
dude.
that.
I'll read it.
Yeah, just send us big paragraphs, Alan. We'll read them off for you.
He's gonna be so frustrated. Sorry, dude.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we've covered that anyway.
Yeah,
What
we've
were we
been-
talking about? We were talking about Nemophila doing covers and Soken Naru doing covers, and
Yeah, just bands doing covers in general, and I think now it's a way to reach more people, and it's quicker than doing a studio version of your own song. You can learn the song, show people what you can do that's going to appeal to people that like that song, and it'll bring them to listen to you. So it's kind of just a new tool that, with how things are going now with the YouTube and stuff, you can find a broader audience
Mhm.
without trying to get people to listen to it. I mean, I think people, I don't know, if you're used to surfing YouTube, but you might want to rather watch somebody do a cover than bring it up and just listen to it.
Yeah.
I agree. I also find it easier to just like, yeah, it's like I clicked on this cover that they did before knowing that we were going to talk about this.
Yeah.
Just because I turned on YouTube and it was like there in front of my face. It was like, wow, they did Metallica. I'm just gonna click on it and listen to it. Like I probably wouldn't have ever searched for that, So it is nice that that's just like popping up for people so that they could hear them. I obviously know Nemophila, but like other people probably that just know Metallica could come across that on YouTube now just by getting recommended.
For sure.
It's a big part of how people are discovering music in general right now, I think. Yeah, and I just want to be clear. Even though I've criticized like how I feel their covers end up being at the end. I think it was a great move on their part, and one of the reasons that they stayed so in the limelight while we were waiting for their second CD to come out was because they just kept releasing covers over and over again, and we just kept being able to talk about everything that they were doing because they were just staying there for everybody to see them.
Being relevant. They
Yeah.
stayed relevant through the whole thing.
And a lot of people ended up really liking some of them too. So I think that they Nemophila, to me, like business wise, has had one of the best business strategies for the first like 2 years of their career out of any bands I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I think it's a thing that became a necessity during the pandemic, because like if you're all separated, right, it's a lot easier to be like, hey, you think you could play this song? Yeah, I got this song. Oh, I know that song. Then you can play your parts rather than like trying to write a new song and all that shit. So it was like I was saying, like a quicker way you could get some new content out and stay relevant and just stay in front of people. So yeah, it's a good move. But I think it was effective enough that people are like, well, we can still do that. Why not?
Yeah, I agree. And they should, they haven't released, when did their album come out? And I think January, December, January. I think so. It's been quite a while. So it's nice that they're actually starting to do the covers again, because we talked about this like a few months ago, where it was like there wasn't anything from Nemophila for a while. Now they're back in the limelight. They haven't released any new original music, but we're still talking about them again because they're doing shit like this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Smart. All right. Should we go on to Band-Maid news? Is there any Band-Maid news?
I don't know. Well, while you figure that out, I do want to bring something up. Last week we did a stream, and a bunch of people mentioned, not just during the stream, but left comments afterwards saying that Baby Metal had come into agreement with a new management team in America. And we tried to look this up, and it seems like something happened in 2018 about this, but we couldn't find any new information on that. So if anybody in the chat knows of something that we aren't able to find out, then let us know so that we can talk about it. Because I did look, I went into like 5 different articles about them having American management, and they're all from 2018. So if anybody has that information, just feel free to send it over and we'll talk about it. So
maybe
know what the hell you're talking about.
Somebody seeing that for the first time and being like, what? And not seeing what year it was.
Yeah, like one of the comments was just like, I can't believe you guys didn't talk about this. And I was like, I can't believe we didn't talk about that either. And then, like I looked it up, I was like, oh shit, there's nothing to talk about. I don't know what you were talking about.
Right on.
Well,
yeah, anyway, there's a lot of stuff. We try and get a lot of stuff, but there's so much that we're gonna miss something. That's why, if you guys bring stuff up, we'll try and we talk about it. That's why you can go to the Discord and put topics in there.
Yep, Band-Maid news.
Band-Maid news. All right. It was Miku's birthday on the 21st. Was it 21st? Yes, 21st.
Yeah, that was yesterday. So, you sent the picture. That's right.
Yeah, I got my Conqueror shirt
pink
on.
Hair.
Yeah, she went full, dyed all the hair this time.
You think that's it? You think that's a dye job, not a wig?
Yeah. There's other pictures with her with the twin tails.
Nice. I also saw that she put up she did one of those AI yearbook compilations on TikTok yesterday for her birthday too.
Nice.
It was pretty funny.
So yes, it was Miku's birthday. So happy birthday to her. Robert Jolie from Japan was feeding me some information about their tour, and interesting, there's 48 gigs played so far in 2023, 2 more to go, 37 full concerts in the US, Japan, and Mexico, 5 gigs in the US as a support band or participating band, 4 gigs in Japan, same situation, support band or participating band, played a Japanese TV show, and 1 show recorded in Japan. So we got to the 25th. They're going to be playing in Nagoya. It's sold out. 26th, the big one, Yokohama. Venue capacity 17,000. And when I looked on the site earlier, it said 160 tickets remaining for this event. That's pretty freaking awesome, dude. That's pretty fucking cool.
Not bad.
That's big. I know sometimes the ticket remaining thing can be a little kind of not exactly honest, so I'll check it again later. But So far, I mean, there's only less than 200 tickets left for 17,000 capacity venue. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and usually when it's wrong in the other direction. Like meaning it says that there are more available than there actually are. It rarely says that there are less available than there actually are.
Right.
So I would think
So-
that that's probably either pretty accurate or they've already sold it out and are close
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah, by now it could be sold out. So they've been changing up their set list a lot. Let's see, 74 songs they've been playing over their tour. 74 different songs. And their
Dang.
set lists here, they're about 19 songs. In Japan, they're 23 songs.
Hmm.
But they've played 74 in total. So that means there's a few songs that were played one time.
Yeah.
There's 11 different songs that they only played once. So if you're at those shows, you got a pretty special show.
You got the list?
I do.
All right, let's hear those 11 songs that they've only played one time.
Robert Shilly, he sent me a list of all the songs. I said, now you just got to tell me how many times they were played. And he did it.
Wow.
So the songs that were played once were Real Existence, Azure, Bubble, Giovanni, Catharsis, Alive or Dead, Clang, Shake That, Nonfiction Days, About Us is only played once. And their brand new song they just debuted, Maggie.
What?
Yeah, they just played a brand new song. at the only
Another
show.
new song?
Yeah, dude.
They've got
Just
an album
drop
come
it.
out. I don't want to
Oh,
hear
they got
anybody
to.
telling me that they don't
They
anymore.
gotta
Like
have an
this is how you introduce a new album. This is
Yeah,
happening.
because there's what 5 new songs now.
4, right? Is there 5? I'm missing 1 in my brain right now. If there's 5,
I thought it was 4, but I don't know.
Because you got Memorable, Shambles.
Oh, like song.
That
Yeah,
aren't
including those, then yeah.
yeah, and then Go Easy,
right?
Brightest Star.
Oh, Brightest
and
Star. I forgot
Maggie.
about that. That was the Miku one, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, the Miku. It's a whole album already. They've
Right, it's already in EP territory.
They've released the EP to
And-
to the general public that goes to their shows.
Yeah, and they do it in Japan where you can't get freaking recordings of it. It's driving everybody else crazy.
Oh,
There's 11 songs that was
it's
played
gotta
twice.
be intentional, dude.
Yeah,
That's
11 songs
that's
that were
clever.
played twice. So, I mean, he had a better chance of hearing him, but
Mm-hmm.
I was a little surprised. Isle they only played twice. Damn.
What was
On
that one?
set, Isle.
Isle?
Isle.
Oh, Isle. Oh,
Isle.
I apostrophe
Yeah.
LL.
Not
I was
Isle.
like-
Isle.
I thought you meant like
Isle.
a grocery store aisle. I was like, what? They don't have a song called that, do they?
But Isle and Onset they only played twice. Caroline Living, Page, Spirit, Take Me Higher, Why, Youth, So What, HGK, Before Yesterday. So some songs they haven't played for a long time they pulled out. It's pretty awesome.
It is pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome that they're writing new music while playing the songs that have recently been released and playing old music at the same time,
Yeah.
just to kind of show you they haven't forgotten how to do any of that.
Yeah. And I always mention this. How many other bands who were your favorite bands have this many songs to freaking play that you would listen to anyway? Not
Right?
very damn many. I mean, some bands that have been together for a long time, they wouldn't have 74 songs that people wanted to hear.
No, even my favorite bands, like even my favorite
Mhm.
bands of all time, like half of each of their albums is filler.
I think Guns N' Roses, I looked it up, they're playing like 43 songs on their tour.
Yeah, we mentioned that last week because like
Okay, that's right.
they are because we were saying like all their songs are pretty good, like off those 3 albums that they released, but that's
Yeah.
all they released, right? So it's like
Right.
they don't get to pick and choose. They just have to play what they have. Like Band-Maid has enough songs that they could just pick and choose.
And dude,
Whatever they want.
Metallica's got to have a shitload of songs.
Yeah, probably, but I doubt they switch it up that much, because there's definitely songs that they just never play.
Well, I think the last couple where they doing these special shows where they play like entire albums, like one album, the next night's a whole different album, then the next weekend is like a different album or something like that. They do some pretty cool stuff like that.
Interesting. So I had two of my buddies went to see them last night, actually.
Oh yeah.
And then another one of my buddies saw them about a week ago, and they both said that they were terrible.
Oh
And,
really?
I was not surprised, but I was a little disappointed because I'm always hoping that
Damn.
my faves from the past are going to be awesome still today and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I think I mentioned this before. I saw them like 2010, and I didn't think that they were that great then either. But they were like it. You couldn't. The friend that I talked to about last night's show said that you couldn't even tell what song they were playing most of the time.
Damn. I wonder if that's a
And
mixing.
he was a big fan. Like he knows all of their music and everything. And I was
Damn,
like,
that's
"Oh, I
rough.
don't know." But he's like, but like they do, like they were playing their songs like twice the speed that they normally play them. For whatever reason, they do that live now. And I think that
Huh.
makes it a lot harder to differentiate each song from each other because the BPM is so fucking fast. Like it all
Yeah.
just sounds like blah, 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 blah.
What the heck, dude?
That's weird. I know they always play things like a little faster, just because
Yeah,
of the
I'm
energy,
exaggerating.
like
with
the
it,
energy
but
of the show. But maybe they're it's weird. They got
I'm
150,
exaggerating.
they
with
got
that. They're twice
151
as
songs
fast.
recorded. 151. And we know
And-
one of those albums is that Lulu fucking bullshit, which all is crap. And then you got Load and Reload. Meh. And
What's
you got
Lulu?
you got Saint Anger. Lulu was them and the fucking guy from Velvet Underground, like doing like spoken word shit over like with them playing music behind it. I haven't ever
I've
bothered to listen to
never
it.
heard of this before. I have
So there's
no
an
idea
album
what you're
out.
talking about.
Then you got Saint Anger. Screw that. That's out. And then so yeah, as
Saint Anger is
Oh,
one of the
man.
worst albums ever made.
far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it was just so bad. And but I will say, like, if you're gonna listen, like, I would absolutely go to a Metallica show today, if they were just gonna play Injustice for All, or just
Oh,
play
hell yeah.
Master of Puppets, or just play Ride the Lightning. I'll still go watch that whole album because I think like 90, like they're one of the few bands where I could say that like they released 3 albums in a row where I think that 90% of the album is good.
Oh, yeah.
Not
Yeah.
just a bunch of
For
filler.
sure.
Do you guys think it's just because they had to release an album like contractually, so they just made uninspired crap?
I don't think they were in that situation with their albums that I don't consider very good. I don't think it was any kind of contractual obligation. I think because the ones where they just change up like completely what they're doing, I think it's just shit, dude. They've been doing it forever. It's just different parts of their lives want to try different shit, and that's great,
Yeah, they were already starting to get bored with what they were doing when they did that song
Yeah.
with Ja Rule originally. I remember they
What?
were talking about wanting to do more rap inspired music also, but that song did so poorly and everybody thought it was so bad that they just didn't.
That's such a weird
I didn't
blend of
even know
genre.
about that.
Oh, I'm
I
telling
missed that. I must know.
Oh no, now we lost Champ.
Oh no. This is a catastrophe.
Catastrophe. Oh man. Yeah, see this is why I've never caught up on Metallica, because I hear such mixed things from people. So like I haven't put any effort into actually catching
Yeah.
up on their music,
If
because I'm like, what do I even listen to?
I know we talk about a lot on this podcast, but I mean that's because Nemophila covered them. But if there's the first 4 albums of theirs, dude, are just insane, just insanely well put together albums. After that, they start just trying different shit.
Okay.
So like any
That's
of
good to
those
know.
any of the first 4, you're gonna have an album that like is a really cool kind of journey through the whole album.
Sweet.
And there's some people, even Saint Anger. Some people love Saint Anger. If you're in the right state of mind, you can like it. I just from an audio standpoint, it's just fucking horrible.
Okay.
Like yeah, you can pick any song off of that, and you'll understand why.
All right. Yeah, I covered a couple of their songs because a guitarist I was playing with really loved Metallica, so I played like, is it called One?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The one that's
Real
like
slow build up and
yeah, and then obviously Enter Sandman cover.
sure.
We played that together when we got
Yeah.
together somehow.
Yeah. But this is a band that has inspired a lot of bands we're listening to here. They're always mentioned anytime there's a metal involved in music. They're always a part of it.
Yeah, true. Well, maybe I'll try their first 4 albums then. See
Sure.
where. Just
And
so I
even the
can
differences,
be
the
aware.
differences between the albums, man, it's pretty. The first one's just straight up thrash, and then they get very like prog thrash.
Oh yeah.
On the next few, it's like, damn, dude. pretty. And then once you hear those, you'd be like, what the hell happened later?
Oh, sad. Oh man, that's how I feel now when I listen to Muse.
Oh yeah,
It's the same way. Like their first 4 or 5 albums are just like such unique pieces of art that they
sure.
just went huge, and you could tell it was inspired. And then now it seems like they're trying to copy themselves from
Wow.
the past,
Okay.
you know?
Yeah.
But
All right. All right. We've probably been off topic long enough.
oh, did we have a topic?
I mean, I guess we got some quick news. We got some quick news here we can talk about. Otoboke Beaver announced the 2024 North American tour. Freaking sweet. They did a short tour. They played here recently, right? But it's a
I,
relatively small amount of shows. This one, man, there's a lot of shows. There's at least 25 shows
really, in the U.S.?
in the U.S. Seattle. So starting in Seattle, down to L.A., Chicago, Detroit, then out to the East Coast,
Oh, they
and then back
always
down to
skip
like
Minnesota.
Florida. No, Minneapolis,
Really?
Minnesota, 3-7.
Sweet.
Yep, and a couple in Chicago.
Are they
So-
for sale yet?
Let me look here. I'll click the link. Yes, are they?
Nice. Okay. Otoboke.
Looks like it. That'll be cool, man. Because that's a band that I'll admit I don't listen to them like much, but I will definitely see them live.
Well,
Just
they're
what I've
playing
heard
the
about them.
Fine Line. Same place where I saw The Warning. Nice
Yeah.
small theater. $22. Nice.
Well, they're touching up in Canada too, Toronto, Montreal.
Oh, nice. Matt, you gonna go see him?
Right on. Little Lilith to tour Europe starting October 27th.
I'm trying to
J-
think of if I've heard Little Lilith before.
The gent band Little Lilith will be embarking on a European tour on October 27th.
Gent.
The Ghost Tour 2023 will kick off with an appearance at Anime Festival Kassel in Kassel, Germany on October 27th, also taking the band through France, the Netherlands, Belgium before its final date on November 5th. The full date list can be found further down the page. In addition to regular tickets, meet and photo tickets will also be available. So people have these tickets, they'll get a picture with the band, a poster signed by all the members, and early entry into the venue. Cool, man. I need to check them out. I don't know if I've heard them or not.
It sounds so familiar. I think I've heard something.
Ooh, I think I'm gonna like it. Right on. What else we got? Vocalist Uyu, formerly of Hagane, fronts new band Mana Diagram. Mana Diagram.
Previously of Hagane? Did they
Yeah.
break up?
Yeah, I think what 2 of them left, or
Oh.
or 3 of them left. I think 3 members left, like at the same time.
Okay.
No one really said why. I think Sakura is still. I mean, it's still
Uh-oh.
like her thing, and she's still going. Like she's putting out videos and stuff. The guitarist that I think made the band,
Okay.
and she's gonna keep the name. So
Yeah.
this is an offshoot of that. Then, well, not really. The
Champ-
singer is part of this band.
Champ's back, but he's muted, and I can't see him on the stream. I don't know. He's like, guys.
Waving. Guys, need some help there, Andrew. So, Mana Diagram. So that's something to keep an eye out, man. Keep an eye out for. If you like the vocals from Hagane, I want to check it out.
Cool.
And Rolling Courts has a new single called Fearless, or their latest single called Fearless reaches 1.2 million views on YouTube.
Oh.
Wow.
I liked that one.
That was a cool song, man. I like that too. I
I
think
love to hear that in general, man.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff. There's some bands blowing up that's really cool to see, but this one was a little bit of a departure from what they're kind of known for. I think production wise, people were saying that it was like a really like the production. It was a lot nicer than what their stuff was in the past. But seems to be working. 1.3 million
Interesting.
views in 1 month. Pretty
I don't
awesome.
remember if I listened to this one or not because I know that the last time that we talked about them, I was definitely one of the people that was saying that I didn't like the production.
Really?
In that, like, yeah, they did like a song that was like almost like a classic rock sounding song. I really didn't like the production of that. It kind of ruined the song for me. But I love the idea that there's a South Korean band, not a K-pop group, a band that's unaffiliated with everything else, in the K-pop genre that is actually
Yeah.
doing numbers like over 1 million views for a music video.
Yeah.
Because it is really hard to break through with instruments over there.
Dude,
It's
okay.
Interesting.
Yes, that is cool, man. That is cool. And something we don't talk a lot about here, but I always got to bring up Atarashi Gakko. They just put out a video 2 days ago called
just saw
Tokyo
that.
Calling. 577,000 views.
Dude.
Holy shit, man!
they
Their
hit,
their Otona
they-
Blue 6 months ago,
Uh-huh.
47 million views.
yeah, they hit
Holy
big with
crap.
Otana Blue. I don't know exactly what it was
God.
about that song that
don't-
blew it up entirely,
It's the little dance in the chorus, dude.
but they do little dances
I
and
know, but
courses
there's
all the
something about
time.
that. There's just something about that. I think it just caught people.
Magic. Dude, they're okay. They're I think their GA tickets in St. Paul went up
Oh,
and it looks they're sold out. It's only resale now.
That'll
I
do
missed my chance.
damn!
I was wondering why they're playing such a small place.
Wow. I haven't even
But-
watched a new video yet. I started to listen to it because I just wanted to, and I'm like, no, I have to. I gotta record this. This is gonna be freaking cool.
I'm so like their trajectory has confused me more than any other bands I think that I've listened to because
Sure.
I had people requesting them like 2 years ago, and so I started listening to them, back a little while ago, and
Yeah.
everything that I was watching was like there was like no views on it. Like I was watching lives of them performing in front of like 20 people, and like it was so I feel like I saw them like really ground floor, and then suddenly, 50 million views on a
I
fucking
think
video.
that's soon after I started reacting to them, their views started to go up.
Oh,
So,
must
It
yeah.
was all you, Ryan.
It was that voice right there.
Slickle
you
B
s-
made a good point. They had such a different performance on First Take. I
I was
think
about to say that, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
authenticity that showed through in that performance of them just like not trying to look perfect or put on this facade of
All right, maybe
what
that was it.
anything. They were just really real, you know.
Yeah.
It was definitely different, and like those first take videos always do well, right? So I
Yeah.
remember being really intrigued by it too because I was like, how are they gonna do this, right? Like, 'cause so much of what their gimmick is about, you can see it on the screen right now, is what they're doing. Like it's such a gimmick. It's so much character, so much personality, and less about that raw vocal technique or whatever. Even though they can
Right.
sing, that's not really what the focus is.
Mhm.
But then when they did the first take, they had the camera editing, they had the dancing, they had everything that you would expect from them. So it definitely did come off as like totally different than all the other first
Yeah.
takes that you
Yeah.
hear.
But for
And
the people that watch it for the vocals, they got a great vocal performance too.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. Even though that's not their priority, they still pull it off just as well as anybody
For
could have.
sure.
it was very
Yeah.
memorable.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
very
man.
memorable. I wonder how many people like heard them for the first time on that first take and then just went, "Oh fuck." They also did that that I think it was a Pepsi commercial, like I want to say like 6 months ago or something in Japan. They had a Pepsi
Oh,
commercial come out.
nice.
So yeah, so that probably picked them up a little bit also, but still I haven't seen it blow up that much. Like that's like we're talking about like a band that was, getting like, maybe 50,000 views to getting 50 million is way more than any other band that I've seen recently.
Wait, what? Mikoto they stripped on live TV?
And
What?
and what? Who? That's Arashi Gakko? I hope not.
um, but crap, what was I gonna say?
Oh, do you like Atara Shigaka?
Oh, that's what it was. Like I'd seen a lot of their videos in the past, but it didn't really click with me until I watched that first take video. Like when
Dude,
you're
that
watching a
first
music
take.
video, it's all very like carefully curated, but in the first take, it's one take, and it just seemed so much more genuine and authentic.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You know?
that first take video is one that has 47 million views.
Mm,
not even
okay.
like
What is
their
the what does the
official one.
regular music video have?
That's what I'm trying to find.
Because that
There's-
one, I actually heard the first take version of it first, I think. And I remember being like, I was like a little disappointed going back and watching the music video afterwards. It's
Mm.
just like I really liked the first take that much.
There's a choreography video, 11 million.
I think that is probably it. I think all their videos are choreography videos, right?
It's not as
I don't
easy as
know,
just-
but like
oh,
they,
there it
it's
is.
and it's not like any of their other songs like do poorly. I mean, like if you were to look up, for example, like I think one of their more popular ones was Pineapple Kryptonite, right?
Yeah.
Like that one, I'm sure if I look at the view count here, it is 4.2 million, and this was
Yeah.
2 years ago. So it's like that ain't nothing to sneeze at, right?
No, man.
So they were already moving at that point, but just not to the same degree that they are now.
Right. Well,
Love to see it. Love to see it. Such a weird little group, that has like nothing in common with any other group. So I'm
They're-
always a fan of something that unique doing well.
So- their official It's on a Blue videos at 44 million.
Okay, there it
Nice.
is.
So that's
Yeah, so man,
Right
I
on.
will say I don't think that's like necessarily like their best song or anything either. Like it's a good song. I like it.
You know what though?
I like other songs better from them though.
I do too, but it's such a weird song to be that popular. It like
Mhm.
globally popular. It's a strange tune, but it's really
That's
cool.
dude, that's like one of the things that I'm really loving about right now in music is that you've got shit like this blowing up, and then you've got shit like this was another thing. So when I was showing my buddy Nemophila, there was also this girl that I talked to that was over there too. So I was hanging out with her, and she was telling me that she was listening to this band Ice Nine Kills. I had never
Yeah.
heard of them.
Oh,
But she
yeah,
showed me a
Alan's
song.
really into them, isn't he?
Probably sounds like something Alan would listen to
Or Tank.
because I listened to it and I was like, Alan would like this. I did like it. It was a cool song, but in turn, I was like, I'm going to show you Hannibia because it's kind of got a similar vein. So I played Part of Me I Have to Go Now for her, and she was like, "Oh, I've heard this before. I heard it on TikTok."
Oh, no
I was
shit.
like, "Oh, well, there you go." So it's like, this person I haven't talked to her in like a year, and she's got like unique interests when it comes to music, but not like
Yeah.
as crazy as us. But she had heard it and she knew it, like without me telling her what it was. She was like, "Oh, I know
Insane.
this song. Yeah, like I heard
That's
this a bunch of
cool.
times." Yeah, so
So
like
it
this
was-
really weird fucking music is blowing up all over the place.
It was TikTok that
Yeah.
pretty much blew up Hanabiye then.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, they get used as what they call a sound, a TikTok sound.
TikTok sound. Wow, awesome.
Mhm. Cool.
Wait, Glenn Kelly says Hanabi's Be the Gal samples Pineapple Kryptonite. I have to find that sample.
It's
Yeah.
interesting because at first TikTok, it felt like an app for kids that dance, but it's cool how over time, like all the different, uh, you know, pretty much people of all interests can find a way to use TikTok.
The demographics, right?
Yeah.
I was talking to my son about this the other day. I was saying that like the millennials and boomers are almost like taking over now because they're like doing the same things that the Gen Zers are doing with TikTok, except just doing it for a different demographic, right?
Yeah.
And those are getting just as popular, just with a different demographic. I was actually talking about how I think that this might alter the way that like society in general views demographics, because it's always been like that 18 to 34 is what matters, right? But if you're getting just as many views from things that are from the 34 to 60 range, and those people have money, that could become the projected most important demographic via things like TikTok and YouTube, creating
Yeah.
that atmosphere.
Yeah.
Definitely. I can't remember what I was watching talking about modern music marketing and stuff, and it was talking about how what a great tool TikTok is and YouTube Shorts and stuff, because it seems like those avenues, they kind of give everybody a chance to blow up. Like they will show your stuff to a specific test audience, and then if they watch that stuff long
Today I'm gonna
enough,
show you guys how to make
it'll push
Mexican
it
chili.
to more people. And like, so if you make a good product, these shorts give your thing a chance,
Mhm.
is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
So
I agree
it kind of
entirely.
evens the playing field, and there's no, at this point at least, there's no like gatekeeping or anything.
Hmm. I've also found that a lot of the people that Zach is friends with and stuff like that, they will listen to what's considered like the mainstream music, but the mainstream music is not what it's not as it's a more diverse catalog than what the mainstream music was like, let's say 10 years ago, where like I felt like, everywhere you go you're going to hear Drake and Rihanna and this sort of like R&B hip hop influenced mainstream but not rap. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
just on the cusp of rap, and that's what everything sounded like for a while. um and he was telling me that like his friends will go from oldies to punk to hip hop all
Wow.
in like, that's their playlist. Their playlist is not just like one genre, it's a playlist full of different genres. And they're finding a lot of this from the background of TikTok videos because they just sit on TikTok all day long. It's literally all they do, bro. They
Just
don't even use
add it,
YouTube anymore.
add it to the playlist. Add it to the playlist. Probably
Yeah, it's all
they don't
they
know what
do.
the fuck they're putting on there half the time. They just listen to it.
That's the other thing. So I ask him about bands that he listens to, and they don't even know the names of the artist half the time. Like they just like find the sound,
Wow.
pop it into their playlist, and then never think about it again. The
Wow.
problem with this strategy, it's cool that there's more diversity being added into the mainstream society's catalog, but we're creating a bunch of one-hit wonders where like
Yeah.
not only are the returns from the past coming back and you're only hearing this one song from that band or artist or whatever, but even the new artists that blow up with one song, you might never hear another song from them again.
Right. Because
Fast
nobody's
People
going
aren't
to listen.
they're not going
Nobody's-
out of their way to
Yeah.
find more.
So it's like really not the audience you want to target if you want a solid fan base.
Really, no, it's not. Unfortunately, I actually did read an article like a month ago from Forbes, I believe, talking about how a lot of people in management and music is struggling to promote new artists because they don't believe that those new artists have any real staying power. So they don't want to put that
Oh.
much money and power into advertising them because they think
See-
that the people are going to get sick of them immediately or not care anymore.
Well, of course they're not going to get any freaking staying power because nobody's backing them to freaking advertise for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It is a chicken and egg situation.
Right.
But
yeah.
like you'll see like, they will focus on like one artist, right? Like Ice Spice, for example. Never listen to any of her songs, but she's fucking huge right now, and they've put the entire music industry behind her
Never heard of
for
her.
whatever reason. We don't listen to that kind of music, generally speaking.
Thank goodness Band-Maid exists in this time.
Right,
Yeah,
we are lucky.
yeah, right. But it is crazy because like they've taken this one that they think they can make money from, and she's got all the support in the world. She's hanging out with Beyonce and all the other famous people and making music and
Yeah.
stuff like that with them. But then you've got another artist who came out, like let's say a Steven Sanchez, who came out with that like really that like oldie sounding song that was like really popular last year for whatever reason. It sounded like it was from the 50s, and it got hugely popular, but like we haven't heard another song from him. Right. So like,
Yeah.
why would they back that, or should they have backed that? They don't know how to run the new system is my point. So it's like,
Right, yeah.
we don't know what the music industry is going to look like 10 years from now because stuff like TikTok is really changing it.
Yeah, the industry people are probably looking at at fucking TikTok like, oh, what's big right now?
Yeah.
Instead of trying to internally find the next big person and tell people these guys are going to be huge. They're like, this person's huge. Let's back this person, and telling Beyonce that these guys are going to be, they're really popular right now. You should do something.
Yeah.
Like
It's a beautiful thing though, because these days we all have access to all the tools that the big, corporate music companies are using to promote music. It's all a free algorithm on a free app where you can upload for free. That's where they're getting their biggest returns instead of like pushing it with ads. Because how many views can you get from money? You still need to put it into like an ad situation where people are smart enough, they don't pay attention to ads anymore.
Mhm.
You know, so like the organic things are the tools that the big corporate music promoters are using, and we all have access to that. So if we're smart with how we use it, we have the same power that the basically my point is don't sell your soul to a label. If
Hmm.
you're an
Hell
artist,
no.
find a way to stay independent and maintain control and rights over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I do think that there's like a level though. Like there's that line that's drawn in the sand where it's like, okay, you can get as popular as you need to, uh, without the music industry's help. But if you want to be taken into superstardom, if you want that legend status, that Beyonce, Rihanna status,
If you want to
you
be
got
harassed,
you gotta give your soul over. You gotta do that, right? Like I've actually found this. Do you guys know who Demi Lovato is?
yeah.
Yeah.
She's in
Okay,
Camp
so
Rock with the Jonas Brothers.
okay, I don't know anything about what you just said right there, but I do know that song that she sang. I'm sorry, I'm not sorry, right? And I thought it was a pretty cool pop song. I just found out recently that she like completely quit doing pop music and now has a band, and she's the lead singer of a band. And she re-released a bunch of her big tracks as rock versions.
Nice.
And I was watching like a live performance of it. She's just like straight up a rock star now. Like
Dude,
this is
and
what she's doing.
She's good too. Like,
Wow.
She's
I listen to that
really
album.
good.
Yeah,
she's
I've heard
really
her name.
good.
I've heard her name for years. I never really listened to it. And I'm like, well, what is she doing? This is some
Yeah.
there's some good shit in this.
Well,
Yeah, yeah. She did
maybe
a performance.
making the version she wanted to make originally, but they wouldn't let her.
Maybe, yeah.
I think that probably happens with a lot of people, like when they're, they kind of want, but you got to do it a certain way if you want that backing. But like,
Don't want to scare
she,
people with distortion.
yeah, exactly. But she said, I'm never touring again. I'm done touring. I don't want to do it anymore, but I want to do rock music. So that's what she's doing. And you know what? I fucking completely respect it. I think that's cool as shit.
Yeah, that's cool.
And the new
Nice.
versions of her songs, by the way, it's not like just like taking a pop song and making it a little rocky. They're redone to the point where she's got like a good band with good players in it, and they just sound like rock songs as if they were built that way from the start.
Oh man, that's cool.
Nice.
Right on.
I've never understood, and maybe I just don't get it, but I've never understood why anyone would want to be a superstar. Because like you can't live your life anymore. You're being harassed by paparazzi. These people look freaking miserable.
I think you've got to have that gene in your body that says, I never need to have a moment alone. Like you've got to be so extroverted that you're willing to always be constantly berated by things around you. And I think some people are like that. Like they are on board with that. They never need any privacy, and you got to have that gene to do that. Because there's no way that I could do after a day or two. I'd be so fucking tired, bro. Like, you kidding me? Like, give me a couple hours to myself.
Yeah, if I go to, I'm so glad to get home and just where it's quiet. If I go on a trip or something, or go to a show where we meet up with many people, and then it's like I just go home and fucking hide.
Yeah.
I'm glad nobody knows who I am around here.
We're like,
that's like barely,
well,
being
yeah,
known at
we're like
all.
freaking nobody, and we get a little taste of it when we go to a concert.
Yeah,
Like
it's cool.
Of a
It's
band
cool.
we react to, and
It's
it's
cool
like
if you can leave
mentally
it.
exhausting.
Yeah, it's cool
Yeah.
if you can have it for a weekend and then
And then leave.
Yeah.
It's like having a kid versus like, being an aunt or an uncle. It's like I love I love being around my niece, but because I get to leave at the end of it.
Yeah. I love kids. You have any? Nope.
Right, but no, I completely agree. There's just like I do respect them for being able to do that. Like I think I think people criticize them for how hard is your life? Like you're
Right?
rich and famous and everybody loves you. It's like no, that's probably fucking really hard to deal with, like all the time. Especially
imagine not being able to just go get a fucking beer.
yeah, exactly. Like you can't go to the store and buy groceries, right? Like you got to figure out a way to do outside that. I'm sure. So yeah, you could pay somebody to do that. You can, but like it's not the same. You're living a totally different life than everybody else is living, right? Like you're in a different bubble, in a different world, and I would never want to live in that life personally.
No.
Not for all the money in the world, like literally, not for all the money in the world. I wouldn't do that. So I give him a ton of respect, but I also give Demi a ton of respect for being like, well, you know what? Fuck that life. I don't want anything to do with that. I'm just going to play rock music and then go home.
Nice.
For sure. Cool, man. Hey, you want to move on to like top 10s and stuff?
Sure. Did you guys go over the quick news while I was gone for that time?
Yeah.
I think, we did.
Okay. Cool. All right. Yeah, let's do the top 10 then.
All right, we got new entries this week. Nemophila Zen official live video is at 47. Sayaka Yamamoto, Bring It On comes in at 51. Ray Rie in at 61. The Uncrowned in at 74. Daylight Season in at 81. Milestones, Bish Bye Bye Show reaches 2 million views, and Shambles has went past 1 million now by Band-Maid.
Nice.
So that's freaking cool. Let's see. Top 10. East of Eden stays right where it was at number 10. Rad Wimps is down 2 to number 9. Rad Wimps.
That's the funniest band name. Rad Wimps.
Passcode Groundswell down 2 spots to number 8. So we got somebody moved up here. Band-Maid Shambles moved up 2 spots. There we go.
So they
Kicking
just
some
traded
butt.
spots with passcode.
Yep, up 2 to number 7.
Congrats.
Hell yeah.
They I think they moved down last week, so they've hit another second wind.
Hell yeah. Tomoyasu Hote is up 2 spots to number 6. Abe Mujika stays at number 5. Wagaki Band, The Beast stays at number 4. Maximum No Hormone, Koi no America stays at number 3. Baby Metal Matari is staying at number 2. And 1OK Rock is still number 1 with Monster Hunter. Make
Not
It
much
Out Alive.
changing. Not much changing this week.
A little movement in the.
Did anybody new make it in the top 10? No, right? It was all
No.
the same bands. They just
Yeah.
moved a
They
couple
just
spots around.
shuffled.
Shuffled around a little bit.
Okay.
Band-Maid
Ready-
moved up though. That's cool.
Right. So we'll move on to the most milestone trivia. I don't know why it's called trivia. Name subject to change, it says right there.
Okay.
Most bodacious rise was Trident, moving up 11 spots for Neo
Okay.
Future. That's cool. Most heinous drop was Queen Bee, down 22.
Finally.
Most excellent new entry, Nemophila, in at number 47. Most bogus new entry was Daylight Season, Just Do It, in at 81. Lowest actual views in the chart was Daylight Season.
Dude, every time he puts like a most bogus entry into the list, I
Yeah.
immediately want to listen to it because I just want to know
Right.
why does Simno hate this song so much? Because it's just like such a mean thing. Like, so he must fucking hate it. I just want
Yeah,
to know
you're
why.
on, you're on the chart, but you're in.
Yeah,
You can come in with it.
yeah, you're here, but we don't like that you're here. That's funny.
Right on. Let's see. Most entries in top 100 still, I think that's the same. Nemophila has 5. Gotrick Spin has 5. Love Bites has 4. And Sim has 3. So these bands got the most songs in the top 100.
I think Gatrick Spin was actually in first last week, so I
Were
guess
they?
Nemophila came up with the new one.
Oh, with Zen being in there.
Mhm.
Cool. Still pulling in the views. Sim Under the Tree, 2.5 million views a week, 33 weeks. Man with the Mission, 27 weeks, 1.1 million views a week. That's pretty crazy, dude.
Mm.
And Otto, 67 weeks, still pulling in 860,000 views.
And
Oh.
what song is that?
Backlight,
Wow.
Uta from One Piece.
Wow.
Oh, speaking of One Piece, dude,
Did you
I
watch
just
it?
started watching the Netflix remake of One Piece. I've never seen the original,
Yeah,
but I've liked it so far.
it's pretty awesome, dude. I loved it. I think it's cool.
You finished the first season?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
It's
I've only
good.
seen the first 2 episodes, so no spoilies.
Okay, I won't. Oh, we gotta go back. Covers chart. I guess we can do that too. As soon as it pulls up on my screen.
Mhm.
There we go. No, it's not here yet. Evergreen.
Mm,
Oh, hey, wait a minute. What's this?
that looks familiar.
This looks familiar. BMCD, Band-Maid Community Discord. covered Evergreen by Band-Maid, and that comes in at number 10 on the list, up 2.
What is
Cool.
Evergreen?
I have
It's
no
an
idea
old
what song that
Band-Maid
is.
song, dude.
From where?
One of the early albums. A cover of Band-Maid's Evergreen by members of the Band-Maid Community Discord. Evergreen was it their first? Chance gonna be like, duh. Yeah,
A
it's an
cover. Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's off their first one.
It's in
It's
Made
off,
in Japan.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's maybe not such a well-known song, but they did a cover. Very
Okay.
nice.
I guess I
What's
don't
that?
listen to that album very much.
I don't either. I do like that song though. It's good for them, man. Down 2 is Little V with Yasobi Idol Oshi no Ko Opi. I don't know what that means. Another cover of Yasobi's Idol. Okay. Well, it's down 2. Dichotic stays at number 8 with the Hypnosis cover featuring Nam and Wave Potter. Hey, that's you. You're
How
on
did
that
they
show.
find such a terrible face for my thumbnail? For the thumbnail.
That's because you didn't submit one. You let Alan do it for you.
Mm.
Well, Alan's isn't that good either. What's going on here? Nam
It's
looks
like I
good.
tried, like, ready to slide a hot dog into my mouth.
Yeah. That's what we'll go with. number 7 is Sunahara Some. Ketsuku Band, Never Forget, down 1 to number 7. Sokuni Naru, down 2 to number 6. They've been in there for a while. Gibson Replays, down 2 to number 5. I haven't actually watched it yet.
Me neither.
So it's a bunch of different artists on the Gibson. They're
Oh,
Gibson artists or signature artists, maybe not signature, but backed by Gibson, and they do a cover of "Don't Say Lazy," the ending tune from the mega hit "K-On."
Okay.
So Asaka from Trident, Kaho on guitar, Chloe. There's so many different names. I don't know exactly who's doing what. Anyway,
it-
Kitsune works up 1 to number 4. It's a man with a mission.
what's the name of that song?
It's the one with Malay.
Yeah, the man with a
Oh.
mission with Malay, Kizuna no Kiseki.
So I'm confused. Kitsune works?
Yeah, they did the cover.
Oh, okay. Oh, sweet. I forgot we were on the covers list. I'm an idiot.
Oh. Readings. New entry is Hazuki at number 3. Spider's Intention. Is that a French word? Perro cover? I don't know.
Is that a dude or a chick?
I don't know, man.
Is Suzuki like the Jamie of Japanese names, where like it could be a dude or a girl?
Jamie.
I don't think there's really. I don't know if there's gender specific names or not really. I don't think it's as specific name wise as it is here. Like for us it's obvious here. Maybe it's the same. I don't know. I think there's less separation in the names.
Mikoto said yes. Hazuki
It
is like Jamie
Okay.
over there. Okay.
Right on. Futokuchi Mana stays at number 2. It's another
Yosobi Idol.
but it's a metal cover.
Oh. Kind of want to listen to both those back to back.
Yeah. And then, oh, really? Koro Nanamore Momo. That's what it says.
Dude, I have to pee
Stays
so
at
bad
number-
all of a sudden.
Stays at number 1. Choo Choo Lovely Muni Muni Mura Mura.
Okay.
You guys know that song, that artist?
I'm glad you're reading
Mm.
this.
I'm not
I
saying
know
it again.
of them because we tried to say it last time and it went just as well.
Choo choo. Oh
The
yeah.
cover of the Maximum Hormone song "Choo Choo Lovely Muni Muni Mura Mura"
Mm-hmm.
by that band I mentioned earlier. They're
Cool.
number
Okay.
1.
Sweet. Well, that's I guess that's our top 10 list for the week.
That
All
is
right.
it.
All right, guys. Well, Sorry about some of the technical difficulties. I feel like we're saying that a lot recently, but yeah, Alan said he'll be not moving. He won't be mobile next week, so he should be back for that. If you guys want
Cool.
more from us, you could always check out our Patreon, patreon.com/guys. Go to our TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, if you want just a little bit more from us every once in a while. Patreon, we did have an issue last week where we recorded. Do you remember what video we did last week for Patreon?
No.
Whatever we did, it was unfortunately there was an audio issue, which we're still working on, but it will get fixed. So it will go up once we fix that. We've just got to connect it back to the video. And unfortunately, because Alan was out, we didn't have time to do one today either. But we will be trying our very best to get back to at least posting last week's and then doing another one next week, if you're
Yeah.
waiting for that.
We're a mess without Alan. And just to clarify, we were never dissing Alan during the stream today.
I was.
Okay.
I probably
I
did at some
wasn't.
point.
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next week.
Yep. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Adios.
Stay hydrated.
Good advice.